Welcome to the Patient Enrollment Manager Overview session. In our session today, I'm going to introduce you to a custom solution that eMedApps offers through NextGen Patient Enrollment Manager, or PEM as we like to call it. PEM allows practices to take an external list or roster of members assigned to their practice and import that external list into NextGen, eliminating manual processing and making it easier to manage the rosters. During this process, if the patient doesn't exist, the PEM system can create a record in NextGen, and if desired, we can also assign a PCP, create an insurance record, create an insurance wrap record, and even populate a risk level. Each of these functions are controlled via configuration, allowing each practice to tailor the process to their unique individual practice's needs. The PowerPoint that you see before you is a high-level overview of the PEM process. Once you receive the files from your external source, the eMedApps CareBridge engine processes those records and ultimately imports the needed data into the NextGen application. Once the files have been processed, the users can see and manage these records within the NextGen application on one of three practice-level templates. Gone are the days of having one spreadsheet that multiple team members need to access on a shared drive, team members losing information, not realizing someone else had the document open, or probably most importantly, every month when you receive the new file, essentially having to start over again, merging last month's work into the new list and starting the work again. Now you'll have all this information at your fingertips right within the NextGen application. The template that you see us opening here is the Enrollment Manager Processing template. The first panel gives you statistics for your payer source. It keeps you informed of when files have been processed on the right-hand side, specific details of each file processing so you know how many records were created in NextGen, how many already existed, term members, etc. It also keeps you updated on your total membership count on the left side. It also shares with you a status for each member so that you know where they stand within the process. The member status is probably my favorite piece of the PEM solution. When a file is processed, not only do we look to see if the member is already in NextGen, and if not, create the record, add the insurance, etc. We also review the chart and apply the appropriate status. The status identifies where the member currently stands in the process. For example, if a patient is new to NextGen, they would be in a new enrollment status. If a patient has an appointment on the schedule in the future, they would be in a scheduled member status. No longer does your staff have to start working from a blank spreadsheet, not knowing if the member's been seen before in our practice. Now when your staff logs in to begin making patient outreaches, they know exactly who they need to contact and who the priority outreaches are for that day. You've probably had the situation arise where one of your team members logged into NextGen, looked up a member, only to find out that they were seen last week, they're in good shape, there's no outreach that's needed. That time spent only to find out that there was nothing that is needed for that member is time lost. That will never occur with the PEM solution. We take this feature one step further. Every night we review the membership listing and confirm that everyone is still in the appropriate status. If anyone is not in the correct status, the PEM solution will update the member to the correct status. To give you an example of how this might work, the enrollment staff might call a member and have to leave a voicemail. Well, that member receives the voicemail, but rather than calling the enrollment staff back, they just call the call center, and the call center makes an appointment for that patient. That night, the PEM application will update the member status to appointment scheduled. This allows your entire clinic team to work together for the overall success of the practice. When the enrollment staff come into work the following day and filter the membership roster to the priority outreaches that need to be made, this member will no longer be on the list. The process has worked, and now we have that patient on the schedule. The goal has been achieved. Everything we've been talking about up until this point is automation. This is all processing that is happening on your behalf to make the process streamlined and hopefully free up staff to have more time for actual outreaches. When those actual outreaches are made, the member processing panel is where those member outreaches would be documented. In the bottom section, you can document the type of outreach that was made, the date that outreach was completed, even set a follow-up date in the future so that this member never falls off our radar or the list of target contacts that we need to make. And then you can also update with a substatus to further define where the patient is in the process, as well as any specific comments that might be unique to that member that we would need to have on record, so that if any other team member needed to pick up and call this patient, they could read the comments at the bottom and be able to call that patient and know exactly where they're at in the process. The comments at the bottom essentially read like a book so that we're all informed and know exactly where the patient stands in the process. When it comes time for follow-ups and you want to make sure that all of your members that are about to hit that 90-day or possibly 120-day mark, we can use the filters at the top to identify those members so that each and every day the enrollment team is always working on the highest of priorities so that nothing falls off the radar and the most critical or most time-sensitive outreaches are made first as a priority. The filters here allow you to slice and dice the data so that you have an exact list of members that need the outreach the most. Not only do you have this information available within the application, you also have the ability to export this information out of the system via the Generate Report button that generates a crystal report that can be exported. So if you're using a third-party tool for texting or patient reminder calls, you can export out the list of patients that need the outreach so that you can enhance the process more by automating those initial outreach efforts. The sky is really the limit with automation and what a tool like PEM can do for your practice. Automating manual processes, driving new patients to your practice, enhancing revenue for your organization, and ultimately improving the quality of care provided to your existing patients are all goals that every organization has. PEM can help you achieve these goals. Our goal is to help your team work smarter, faster, and easier. This was just a brief introduction on how the PEM can aid your practice in better serving your assigned membership. If you would like to learn more about this product or any of the products that eMedApps has to offer, please give us a call or send us an email to arrange a demo for your team.